Hi fans, thanks for calling, checking in on the dreaded D-Rose report. Clicking. We got a phone line too, by the way. It's 317-33... let me find the phone. Forgot it. Yeah, 317-335-4688. If you want to call every day. There's three options on there, and it's got wrestling information on there too, and myself. All right, here goes the latest from the wrestling news, hot off the teletype. Now, you got to be old if you know what I'm talking about on a teletype. Anyway, former TNA referee Rudy Charles, who uses his real name Dan Engler down at NXT, is on the road with the main roster this weekend. He worked last night's live event in Fayette, North Carolina. WWE NXT diva Alexa Bliss worked as a referee during the Sasha Banks versus Bayley match down at NXT in Largo, Florida. And as noted before, WWE has discussed Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, and John Cena working together in a match at WrestleMania XXX. The idea discussed includes Cena and Hogan versus Piper and another heel, Hogan and Piper versus Swagger and Cesaro, or Hogan versus Piper in a Legends singles match. Have they done a Legends singles match before? I can't remember. Not those two, but any of them. Forget. Anyway, word is that Piper himself has pitched the idea of teaming with another heel to face Hogan and Cena, with the idea that it's going to be played off of WrestleMania 1 main event, which saw Hogan and Mr. T defeat Piper and Orndorff. If in my opinion, everyone that's still around that was on WrestleMania 1 should be on WrestleMania 30. Just my opinion. I don't know how many still with us. Hopefully all of them, but I know they're not. But they still should be there, highlighted or just anything. Former WWE and UFC star Ken Shamrock recently appeared on Under the Mat Radio and discussed how he would fight Brock Lesnar if the two ever fought in UFC. Could be interesting. Anyway, he says the way I would attack him into the later matches. To me, I don't know if there would be a later match fighting him. But anyway, he said he would take him on mainly in the later matches, later rounds. And he says, I think he has two left feet when it comes to standing up, and he really does have good technique. He's slow though, making him use lots of energy with his punches and keep him moving. So he's trying to wear out Brock. That's his idea. So anyway, I don't think it would work. Speaking of Lesnar, though, noted before that Paul Heyman confirmed Lesnar for Old School Wrestling and said he's looking for something old school while he's there. If WWE sticks to the plans of Lesnar going at it with Big Show, Heyman could be refereeing Lesnar, hitting Big Show with the F5. Something he did over 10 years ago, though, as November 28th, 2002 episode of SmackDown, if you got it taped somewhere. Alright, some WWE.com editors have a new article up looking at who they think should be the next breakout star from NXT. And hopefully you can get that on your cable channels. But they discussed NXT Women's Champion Paige and Aiden English, Alexander Rusev, Enzo Amore, Sami Zayn, and NXT Champion right now, Bo Dallas, Emma, and next NXT Tag Team Champions, The Ascension. Alright, another idea that was discussed for Hogan at WrestleMania XXX is to have him team with John Cena and Daniel Bryan to face the Wyatt family in a six-man match. Now, there's feeling that Hogan won't be able to pass the physical part of it, so he won't end up wrestling, but it's possible WWE doctors can, let him go out and do very limited physical work. And I hate to hear that about Hogan, but, we may all have seen him, tired of him, whatever, but man, just, doing, that bad a body shape. And he looks good, but that's terrible. Noted before that Batista is back at WWE, likely for the next 2 years, and he actually wanted to do some, like a final run as opposed to just a WrestleMania 30 season. So he don't want to come back just for one match. And WWE's website has a new poll up asking fans if they think there's a weak link in the Shield. And with over 6,000 votes, 50% said it's Dean Ambrose is the weak link. 23% of the fans voted that the Shield has no weak links. Hall of Famer Sunny. She's lashing out at fans on Twitter who still don't believe she has cancer. Sunny wrote that she didn't need chemotherapy because it was a stage 1 of cervical cancer that was contained with surgery anyway. She says, I'm really tired of accusations that I faked cancer and surgery. She said it took 2 surgeries to get it all. She says, to get all out of her. Ya assholes. That's what she said. NXT star Oliver Gray wrestled his first match in almost a year last night on NXT in Largo, Florida. Gray suffers from a torn ACL back in 2013, early in the year. And he tweeted last night's return match. He says, finally, nearly 11 months tonight. Feel great to be back in the ring, even if it was on the losing side. He says, we'll get back on our own. All right, ESPN's got an article up about Ric Flair and the NFL's Carolina Panthers. The article contains quotes from the Panthers quarterback Cam Newton about being a Flair fan and talks about how the team is using Flair's woo to hype them up. Panthers are hoping Flair can appear for the playoff game this week, or at least for a pep rally. But he's likely tied up with some previous commitments, which one is to show up on Raw. And I hope with all the bad weather coming in, might be a little bit of cancellations on it. Cody Rhodes' wife, Brandy Rhodes, and Veronica Lane did ring announcing in last night's NXT down in Largo. And as noted before, CM Punk cut a promo on some fans who were booing him after he defeated the Shield in the main event, December 26th, live event in Chicago. Very few fans were booing him, but they were doing so because he had apologized for not wrestling on the 2012 post-Christmas show because he was out with a knee problem. Anyway, Punk told the fans booing him that he doesn't care what they think for him and their opinions don't matter to him. Punk asked people if they would rather see Randy Orton versus John Cena. I don't know if they got boos on that or not. Former WWE and TNA personality Bruce Pritchard noted on Twitter that he and his wife wants to open up a wrestling school, and he asked fans for feedback. Why would you do that? We know nothing about wrestling, open up a wrestling school. It's got to be profitable. It's got to have some people there, and you got to make some students into stars. Can you do it? That's all I know. TNA is going to be announcing a location to Lockdown pay-per-view in the next few weeks, and TNA has released a new Abyss t-shirt on their shop website. And with Jeff Jarrett gone, there's feelings that things had changed at last week's TNA live event and pay-per-views. Al Snow was working as a head agent. Jarrett and his wife Karen are expected to start taking independent bookings after January 6th, so get your checkbook out. A fan on Twitter wrote to Dixie Carter suggesting she bring in Scott Hall and Jake the Snake to work on TNA's creative team. Hall replied and said he had no interest. WWE's and WCW star Jim Powers turns 56 years old today. Also, this would have been the birthday of Chris Kanyon, would have been 44 years old. Jim Powers, the last time I remember hearing from him, he was in kind of bad shape. I can't remember what was wrong with him, but he was in the hospital, but must be doing all right now, I hope. The Miz has been added to Washington, D.C.'s Auto Show, Washington Convention Center, January 28th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. As noted, Sheamus is going to be appearing at the same event on the 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. All right, WWE's website has published a list of the top 10 kicks. I know you know what got to be number 1, so I'm going to start at 10. Number 10 is Kofi's Trouble in Paradise, Tamina Snuka's Sidekick, Trish's Chick Kick, Booker T's Scissor Kick, and Hulk Hogan's Big Boot, Steve Austin's Stomping a Mud Hole, and Sheamus Bro Kick, Rob Van Dam's Van Daminator, and Randy Orton's Punt. Shawn Michaels' Sweet Chin Music. Thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go.